up, what up, what up, internet? Who you are, where you be, where you at, what you see. This is Pop Cult Parent. And if there's one thing a podcaster always keeps, it's his pride. And I come to you tonight, a somber night, a heavy blow was dealt to pop culture, to the world, to people's childhoods. If you haven't heard the, great sensei Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball and many other manga and series, passed away. He died at the age of 68. It has taken the world by storm. I mean, I've seen Stephen A. Smith say something about it on ESPN. Everyone was touched by this guy. If you don't know what Dragon Ball is, you lived under a rock forever, or you're, I don't know, not human. But he was such an impact on our childhoods and our life that we thought we'd just come together and talk about his impact, Dragon Ball's impact, and just all of it together and celebrate this great, artist, creator, teacher, storyteller. Before we get into that, I'm one of your hosts, Mark M.F. Jones, and I am joined by.
This is Niels R.Y. No AKA this episode, but I'll just say thank you, Toriyama-Sensei.
And this is Shannon, aka Goodbye, my friend.
Yep, summer night, guys. I wish we could be together on a more joyous occasion, but before we get into this, Nels, you have some housekeeping things for us?
I do, and because the numbers of the Pop Call have been growing, we're just constantly welcoming new members to the Pop Call. So just wanted to share a few things for those of you who are new. Again, you've always been here, you're just now listening. One is sorry for the audio. Last episode, we were working on a few things and there was some technical difficulty. So sorry for the audio. Two, for those of you who have been looking for our full video episodes, those are available for Patreon members. So if you are interested in watching the video, you can go to our Patreon, which is at patreon.com/popcultparent. Just like everything else, it's Pop Cult Parent. So you can find us there. And when we say subscribe, we literally mean subscribe everywhere, not just on your podcast, but, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you see Pop Call Parent, feel free to subscribe. That way you can hear and see all the different things that come from us. So those are just some housekeeping things I wanted to share with folks.
And when we say join the cult, we mean it. And I want to say and express, thank you. Like, the support has been crazy. The feedback has been crazy. Like, we want feedback. We want your emails. We want your comments. We want your questions. Keep them coming. And just thank y'all. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. I just want to say, to go off of that same, love it. We have an amazing time, the three of us having these conversations. And then, when we have a guest or multiple guests, an amazing time. But also what is just so much fun is also being able to engage with you all as you're, leaving comments, because, we're having conversations in our Twitter sphere and our Instagram, everything like that. And it's so fun to engage with you all, so it's like we're all in together on the conversation. So yeah, keep them coming.
Some of y'all haters, though. I will say that. Some of y'all
y'all like, can keep it coming too.
This ain't true. That ain't true. Whatever. We welcome it. We welcome the
read the book. Read the book. Hey, keep it coming though. We eat it up.
But seriously.
But nah, we appreciate it. But before we get into it, just a little note: Shannon has to leave, cut this episode short. So Nels has some background information for us, and then we're just going to get right into it, and Shannon's going to start us off. So Nels, I'll take it to you.
All right. So we found out on March 1st we found out not that long ago that on March 1st, Akira Toriyama passed away at the age of 68. He created a lot of things, including Dragon Quest and Chrono Trigger, but he is famously known for creating one of the greatest and most popular manga series ever, which is called Dragon Ball. Throughout his career, he was active, for 45 years. This man was writing manga for 45, just like being involved in all things Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, whatever, for 45 years. The manga, just like the original sale of the Dragon Ball manga, is ridiculous, y'all. It was 519 chapters, which equaled 42 volumes. It sold over 260 million copies between 1984 and 1995. 6.5 million readers on a weekly basis. And I mean, so in case y'all like wondering manga wise, around that time, 80s to 90s, like, yes, it was the reason people started reading manga. It was the resurgence of anime. Like Dragon Ball led the way for Yu Yu Hakusho, for like shoot, like all the stuff that folks were actually reading manga wise. And of course, this new generation that we're all benefiting from. Well, even before this new generation, your One Pieces, your Naruto's, your Bleach, like they were all influenced by Akira Toriyama. And then this new group, the My Hero Academias, the One Punch Mans, the Attack on Titan, like they wouldn't even exist. We wouldn't even know them here in America if it wasn't for the success of Dragon Ball. And so the last data piece I'll say is special to Americans, especially millennials. And that number is 61 million, because that number is what Toonami shared proudly with us.
61 million fans can't be wrong.
Thank you, Mark. 61 million fans can't be wrong. It highlighted how much we as a generation embraced Dragon Ball Z. It was a staple, and the numbers don't lie. So that's just a bit of the history of Akira Toriyama and how popular Dragon Ball was. And with that, Shannon, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I can't even say for me. Dragon Ball Z, I think for everyone, it is not just, say if you're somebody who is not really familiar with what anime is, but you're just like, I like this show. Some people might say, oh, Dragon Ball Z is an amazing cartoon. And I know that's like bleeding our ears. It's like, don't call it a cartoon. But I know some people would be like, oh yeah, it's a great cartoon or a great show, an amazing anime. But it is more than all of that. It is a culture. It is, I want to say a moment, but a moment that just extended from, I'll at least say for me, basically from like middle school, high school, like to now. So, and I know we've joked a lot on the show where, you know, like we've talked One Piece and all of these different things, and it is like I'm usually like, oh, I haven't seen that, and I really fell in love with Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, you know, Super, like all of that, so much to the point that I really feel like there are only two anime things that I've really watched, and it was Ronin Warriors, if we remember that, Ronin Warriors, and like Dragon Ball, so Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, so forth. Those are like the only two that I'm like, yes, I have watched all of these. And yet I really enjoy anime, but I don't know why. I just, because I haven't been able to watch others. Because I mean, I think of even like if I watch Boondocks, a hilarious show, but they have so many like anime fights and things in there, and just in anything. Like I love the action, but those have been the only like consistent ones that I have watched. And I'm like, if anyone ever says something about Dragon Ball Z, I'm like, yes, like let's talk about it. I'm ready to defend it. And I will go in blindly because yes, there are thousands of others out there. You know, we have conversation where like the storylines in One Piece are so amazing. I will stand on this hill and die for it.
She was like, la 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 la.
And not only will I sit here and like defend it fiercely, but I will do it blindly as well. I have not seen these other shows, but I will sit here and say this is why Dragon Ball Z is the best one ever. And you know, and with that, it's like I think there's just something about that because, like I said, I mean, it's a culture, it's a moment. Like Goku has had a float or balloon or whatnot in the Macy's Day Thanksgiving parade. I feel like just about everyone is familiar with some aspect of Dragon Ball. Like even if they don't watch it, someone says something about Kameha, Super Saiyan, something like that. People are like, okay, I've heard of that. Like I don't know, what it is.
over
And also,
9,000.
yeah, yeah,
There's a lot
yeah,
there's a lot we
yeah,
can
Hands
do
in the
right
air,
now.
spirit
Yeah.
bomb.
yeah. Spirit Bomb, like the meme,
Lend me your
just
power.
yeah, yeah. It's so it's like I feel like everyone is familiar with that to some extent. But again, I'll say for me personally, it has just always been a show that I've loved, and I remember we talked about in some episodes previously, but just the way that you would have the coolest person in the school, the athlete, the star athlete, nerdy kid, the whomever, they could all relate on Dragon Ball Z. Some conversation or something that would happen. And just the power of that was, pretty amazing. And and it's so tough because, I obviously gotta add one little thing that just chuckles. I was like, I love everything about it. One thing, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about Mr. Popo. I don't know.
Hey,
I'm always
funny
like,
you, funny you said that, Shannon. I saw something today. I wish I saved it. That Mr. Popo is actually based off of a Hindu deity
oh,
who looks over time. So, like, I was like, you know what? Toriyama left this world clean as far as I'm concerned.
Bruh.
Like people
Who
were really like, "Hey,
retconned
one
that?
asterisk." He left the world clean.
Sure. Someone didn't
yeah,
tell the animators that. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And he didn't stop him.
Yeah.
yeah,
He didn't stop up for years. For years.
yeah. But
Well,
like I said, that's my only sort of thing, and that is true. Then okay, we can let it slide. We can let it ride. But I would say, yeah, I've loved it from obviously, the work that he put in from the storytelling to from Dragon Ball to where we are now, seeing Goku as a little kid, and then to him having kids, and just this piece of love that exists. Again, we laugh and we're like, Goku was a horrible father, always left his kids, but it was just like still this other piece of saying like death cannot keep me from you all, like because the amount of times that he died and came back. One of my favorite characters, of course, Vegeta. That arc, again, I haven't seen a whole lot of anime, so I'm like, I have not seen an arc like that. Someone who, the villain, and not only are they like, okay, I'm going to do some good things or whatever. You can just see just this whole turn of like, I care about people and I know how to love now, and even like my way of showing love is still wrapped in maybe this like tough Saiyan pride, but just because I remember one of the scenes where what was oh yeah, where obviously he knew Boo was going to kill him, and instead of some people would be like, okay, I love you, son, this and that, he sort of patted his son on the head and then like chopped him and knocked him out cold and was like, get him out of here, so it's like, but that was his way of saying, hey, I love him, I love y'all, get him out of here safely, I'm going to sacrifice myself for this, which just all of those things. So I know I was like, I had to go, so I had to like let me do my whole rant. But again, this is one of my favorite shows. I'm watching anything Dragon Ball related. I'm watching. Not gonna lie, I still haven't watched GT, but
good. You're not.
It's
You're
all
not
it's
I know.
all right.
missing anything.
No
You are
problem there,
okay.
Shannon. You are
No,
okay.
You're better for it.
yes, yeah, but absolutely. But with that, I'm like, Toriyama, obviously someone I never met. He doesn't even know I exist, but it's just like the what is lasting is just this amazing work that he has created that has affected so many people, myself being one. And to this person I've never met, hey, you've done something that has shaped the way I watch things, care about things, as well as millions of other people. So definitely, rest in peace. And as I said, goodbye, my friend.
Well said, Shannon. Well said. I mean,
Thanks.
I guess we'll just chime in real quick because you got to go. But just, I mean, everything you said is facts. I think we can only hope to make something or do something that touches as many people as Toriyama has. Like you said, everyone can relate to Dragon Ball Z. If you don't haven't seen Dragon Ball Z, guess what? Your favorite TV show, producer, director, movie, whatever, actor, they've seen it. and they've been influenced by it. It's like it's something. It's almost inescapable. And I was thinking about this. Dragon Ball might single-handedly be the most influential piece of literature, media, pop culture ever created.
Yeah.
Maybe besides like Shakespeare, it might be the most influential thing that's ever been created.
At least in our generation, absolutely.
Yeah,
question.
like it's
question.
just touched so many things. The Matrix was influenced by Dragon Ball Z. I mean, there's anime writers who say they only exist because Dragon Ball exists. There's anime creators who have said like I only got into this because I wanted to meet Toriyama. Like that's insane. I've never heard anyone like I'm in the NBA just because I wanted to meet LeBron. Or I mean, it's apples and oranges, but like that people get into this just to meet this man, just to be in his presence and be influenced by him. And it's like that kind of influence, it goes it it's that good because the product's that good. What he writes is that it touches people. It's relatable. It's fun. It's engaging. It's simple and dynamic and intriguing. It makes you cry. It makes you cheer. It just touches all the aspects of the human experience. And like I don't know if that's talent, a blessing, but like, man, like what a life to live. And like, we will miss this guy.
Shannon, I'll let you go because I'm about to rant and I want to give you a break before you're stuck here.
Cool.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, no, thank y'all. Thank y'all for formatting it this way because I got to jump. And definitely, to the rest of the pop cult, enjoy. Obviously, you're being left in great hands, but truly, I think this is a moment where we all sort of coming together, just realizing the importance of Akira Toriyama. But thank y'all.
Peace,
all right, brother. Peace. Mark, I have a lot to say. The one thing I want to build off of what Shannon said earlier before I say a couple of important things about Dragon Ball Z and Akira Toriyama. And one thing just to build off of what you said, which is part of the reason I feel like Dragon Ball Z might be the most influential or important piece of property, at least in our generation, is because I think Dragon Ball Z is the reason that we can even comfortably have a podcast talking about nerd stuff. Like the fact, like, bruh, do you remember in high school?
The bridge builder.
Yeah, it's the bridge builder. When Shannon told a story about the coolest kid in his school saying that they're going to go Super Saiyan right before a basketball game, and Shannon realized at that point it was okay for him to talk about how much he loved Dragon Ball Z, bruh, all of us had that moment.
Everyone.
All of us had that moment at some point where we're like, it's okay that I like anime. Like other people like anime. And I think that opened the window for folks being okay to talk about comic books. Folks being okay to go watch a Spider-Man movie. Folks being okay to get excited to talk about X-Men. Folks being okay to go to a Harry Potter movie. Bruh, half the football team went to watch Harry Potter together. And it blew my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like
Nels, we became friends because Dragon Ball Z on the football field.
Mark, Dragon Ball Z is the origin of our friendship. We have been friends, great friends, for 20 years, Mark. And it is because, and I didn't really like you when you first got to Robinson because you were better at me in football. And I was annoyed by it. I was scratching for every playtime I could get. And you came in immediately better. and it wasn't until we had a conversation, dog, about this thing.
Yeah.
And we've been friends for 20 years. And it started from Dragon Ball Z, Mark.
Dragon Ball Z. I remember because like I think it was like special teams or someone was doing something, and we were like, man, I hope we wrap this up so we can catch the last episode. Because at that time, I think Toonami was running 2 episodes of DBZ.
Yep.
And we're like, well, if we wrap this up, we can at least get the last one in. And it was like, wait, DBZ?
I was like, hold up. DBZ? What you know about DBZ? And we've been friends ever since.
Dog, I remember when I lived in Arlington, I remember Boston Mall. There was like I don't know, like this store. I think it was called the Alley, and it had like all the like fake jewelry and jerseys. It had like hardwood classics and like the Bugs Bunny, stuff. But
The
like
Bugs
there
Bunny
would be
Tasmanian Devil
yeah, with the little
baggy.
joints
Yep.
backwards shirt. But I remember they had Dragon Ball Z like paraphernalia too, like just not like Goku with a chain, just straight up like the characters on a shirt or like a poster of them. And it was like, yo, that's when I knew. I was like, yo, yes, like everyone's into this. Like this is, and like I said, it made it okay. And it's a shame that we felt that way, but we talked about this. Nerds, anime kids, whatever today, you got it good, and I'm happy for you
Great.
because you could not go around talking about, oh yeah, I watched Princess Mononoke, or oh yeah, I liked, I watched Sailor Moon the other day. Like, no, that was
Couldn't do
not
that.
happening.
Mm-mm.
That was not happening. But Dragon Ball Z, hey, pull up a chair, dog. Like, sit
Mark,
down, let's talk about
honestly, like part of the reason it's so influential when the cool kids, quote unquote cool kids, started watching Dragon Ball Z and realized how good it was, it made them ask the question of like, what else are the nerds watching that I would like?
yeah.
And that is why we live in the world we live in today.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we have millions of dollars invested in superhero movies.
And
Bruh.
Toonami tapped that. Toonami was like, hey, cool kids, here's what the nerds are watching.
Here's what the
Here's
nerds are
Peter
watching,
Cullen.
and you'll like it too.
And
And you'll
let
like
Peter
it too.
Cullen tell you how cool it is. He's like, well, Yu Hakusho will be on at 6 a.m. You're like, oh, okay.
Dog, like for real. I mean, Toonami is an important player in all of this, but it opened a world for I think the majority of folks, and it is why we live in the world we live in today.
It is.
This one piece of property, this one guy helped make the world that we live in today, man. It's ridiculous.
And I was thinking about that, man. The friendships, the family, togetherness that comes from DBZ. Like, I know my brother and I, we talk a lot about different pieces. Like we bond a lot about like The Sopranos and other shows. We always talk about Dragon Ball Z all the time. The show is what, 30 years old? We talk about it constantly. It's just because it's in, and like Shannon was saying, there's a lot of humor. We make fun of Goku as a father, but I feel like all that stuff is from love. It's not because we think it's a bad show, we think Goku's a bad character. It's from a place of love. And when you love something, it's like oh, the friend in the group who we might make fun of, but no one else can make fun of this friend.
You better not. Dog, I think I said this in one of our One Piece episodes. I was like, yo, I am not a hardcore One Piece fan. I'm a hardcore DBZ fan. Like, Mark, we had in the history of pop cult parent. This show is over 5 years old now, by the way. In the history of pop cult parent, the first 5 episodes, 2 of those episodes were about Dragon Ball Z. Our first 5 episodes, 2 of them were about Dragon Ball Z, bruh. You know what I'm saying? No prep time. We came in and just talked
just
about
off
Dragon
the
Ball
cuff,
Z.
right?
And yes, you all can hear it. But by the way, it was a long time ago. Those are the early days of Pop Call Parent. Our day ones, they know what it is. But well, this was some of the early days. This is a little rough recordings back then. But dog, it's the origin of this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, we love this property so much. And Mark, this one other thing I gotta say, and I think this is special for members of the pop cult. I think we kind of talk about this from time to time, but the pop cult's an international podcast. Like, yes, the majority of the pop cult are Americans, but we have a lot of listeners from South America. Shout out to Chile. We have several listeners throughout Europe, right? Shout out to our listeners in Germany. Shout out to our listeners in Amsterdam. Shout out to our listeners in France. Like we have a bunch of folks across the world who listen to this podcast, and you can't tell me part of it isn't because of Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Ball Z, it might be more popular in South and Central America than it is in the US. And it was popular in the US. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, bruh, everybody was watching this show.
It was, I guess I use the word phenomenon. It was everywhere. Like it was inescapable. Like you go to a store. Dog, I remember going to like carnivals and seeing DBZ knockoff stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, like it's just like because that's where the money was. People were buying Dragon Ball stuff, buying the tapes. And like you said, Tsunami was a big player in that. But after DBZ, you're right. People are like, what's next? What is next? I mean, Tsunami milked DBZ for years. For years. And we kept coming. Like, Krillin dies. Oh, man. All right. Next episode. Here we go. And then next time on Dragon Ball Z, we're like, this is it. This is the legendary Super Saiyan. And then what? That farmer doing what he's doing, and Raditz shows up. Like, get off my property. And we would be so upset. Oh, no, God, why?
And then we would sit there for 3 months and still watch all of it. Still watch Snake Way.
Oh my God. If I had to watch Goku on Snake Way for like another 3 weeks in a row, I would keep doing it because
I think you saw it. The data is there. We kept coming back. Like, yes, bro. You hate it. And then we would just sit there and be like, all right, well, Raccoon Boom, here we go.
Well,
let's go watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, man.
Time to see Chow. Goodbye,
Chow.
Here we go again. I guess here we go one more time.
Yo, there's a reason we all know Yamcha's like defeat to the Cybermen so well. It's because we watched it religiously. Like we know, like, all right, every 3 months we're about to see Yamcha get got again and again. That's why all these DBZ memes and Team 4-Star is so successful. It's because we watched it so many times just to get like one new episode, and then they start from scratch all over.
Repetition.
One new episode, start from scratch. Mark, it was a big deal when they had 10 new episodes straight. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Blew our mind. I was like, yo, we gotta go home.
Tsunami, like in Dragon Ball is like I think it's like a total 270 something episode, and they're like 5 new episodes. 5.
Lost our minds, bro.
Get me home, Mom.
And then as soon as those 5 are over, Raditz.
Back to
Raditz. Oh my goodness.
Hey, and then they're like, ooh, we got movies for you. I'm like, I don't see no movies. And they're like, damn, these are kind of hot.
And then we love the movies. Bro, we love those movies.
These are kind of fun.
We like, yo, y'all got more of those movies?
Y'all got some more of these movies? I mean, dang.
we be going into the websites. We be going into it, even in the chat rooms, and be like, hold on, there's someone named Cooler? There's 2 Cooler movies? Oh my goodness, bro.
You know,
and Japan was so beyond us. They're like, dog, this is like 10, 20 years ago. We're like, nah, this is the hot fire right now, currently. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's like, and all Dragon Ball is good. You know what I'm saying? From Dragon Ball, from Goku as a kid to Z. I mean, Z is where it like became a thing. But like, we talk about Super. I really enjoy Super, dog. Yeah. I like Super a lot. I think when you take the filler out of Super, it's one of the most enjoyable animes out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love Toriyama, and I get it, there's a place for everything, but Toriyama is not afraid to put some fun in his work, his writing. Like, for all the violence, and there was violence, but like it just, I don't know, it didn't feel. I think sometimes this isn't just anime, but a lot of art feels nihilistic to me.
Mm.
You know, it feels like I'm fine with dark, but I don't like hopelessness. And no matter how, I mean, Frieza blows up like he blows up like Goku's home planet, and you still feel
He
like
blows up multiple planets
they
throughout the
kill
show.
all the
Multiple
Namek.
planets.
The only Namek is Dende, and you're like still like, all right, like this is still fun, this is still energetic, you know. And it's like I don't know too many medias that can work that balance. I've said before, anime does a great thing of like you will go from crying to laughing to excited, like interchangeable. Like I don't know what it is about anime, but they are great on just like turning off one emotion and turning on the next one, and it works. And Dragon Ball Z did that a lot. And like you know what it was though? Dragon Ball Z was like for especially like young guys, young men, it was our soap opera, dog. It was a soap opera. Like they fought, they threw down, but you know, all this like, oh, that's Vegeta's kid. Oh, that means Bulma and Yamcha. You know what I'm saying? Look at Piccolo taking care of that. That's his son. That's not Goku's. You know, like
Mhm.
it was our soap opera. We tuned in every day at 5 to like get the goods, to get the story, to learn about these characters.
Yeah, and I mean, we also, let's keep it a buck. It probably is. I mean, I haven't watched Naruto from beginning to end, and you know, there's probably several other like anime things, but like I can say with the utmost confidence, it's probably one of the best, if not the best, action animes ever. Like there was just
Yeah.
quality fights. I know, granted, at one point it was for like 3 episodes, and then
Yeah.
like, but damn it, I loved it. All right,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
loved
no,
it.
we all loved it. We all loved it. I mean, and like it's influential, you know, and I'm gonna with Toriyama, one thing, and I don't know how he did this, all his character design, it's crazy. Every new character that we saw in Dragon Ball Z, whatever, he has this way of making all new characters feel like we've always known them. Or
Yeah,
like they like I don't like dog. I don't know if I'm really like translating this right, but like every time a new like when the Ginyu Force shows up, they just feel like they've always been in this world. Even though it's the first time we're seeing them. When Trunks shows up, he just feels at home in this universe. When we said when Beerus and we show up, they just feel right. And I don't know what it is about his character design, you know, writing, but it's
he
something
gets you
about that.
invested quick. He
Yeah.
gets you invested in these new characters quick. It's not like he spends a lot of time character developing. Like we meet Beerus, and like we kind of get after it pretty soon after
Yeah.
we meet Beerus. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I mean, it's literally the case with all of them. Like I feel like one thing I was named though is like there's two buildups of characters that he does, and it pays off both times. And I think that low key is part of the reason we have respected him for the rest of his writing. And those two buildups was Vegeta and Frieza.
hmm
The way he built up Frieza and Nappa, like on the lead
Vegeta and
up,
Nappa.
Vegeta
Yeah.
and Nappa, excuse me, on the way coming to Earth, like from Raditz being like, "You think I'm a problem?"
Yeah.
Like going from there, and then just seeing them stop at planets all the way till
And,
they get to Earth. Like, bruh,
and dude,
it's
what a way,
what a lead up.
what a way to even this is our sequel series. We're coming back to these characters. Like the band's back together. Oh, Master Roshi, Bulma and Krillin still living at Kame House, even though Bulma's rich. And like the first couple episodes, our hero is killed by a villain. And
That's his
then
brother.
that's his brother who's like, oh, like, nah, I'm not it. My superiors are coming and they're gonna crush y'all. And then we leave our hero's son with the old villain. And it's like, what an amazing way to start your new series.
Bro, that's better than Rocky. That's better than Rocky, Mark. And that is an American staple. That's better than Rocky. That's Apollo Creed training.
Rocky for Clover Lane, dog. It's just...
that's training. Yeah, like, hold on. I got to do this real quick. Give me a second. I got to figure this out right now. That is Apollo Creed training Rocky's son after Buddy from Russia kills Rocky and trains him to beat whoever is coming after the Russian guy. Who's stronger than the Russian guy? If that's what Dragon Ball Z did, and it made complete sense.
No, it's what is it? It's Batman getting killed and Ra's al Ghul taking Robin, and Ra's al Ghul and Robin become like this second father relationship, and then Batman like it's like what?
To beat what's his name? The guy who runs Apocalypse.
Darkseid.
Training Robin to beat Darkseid. You know what I'm saying?
But you're right. That man, the Saiyan build up, and I think it's better even in Kai, because I don't think you even see Vegeta, Nappa, and Kai until they get to Earth. And so it's like, and then we're like, what is a Saiyan? Like, what is what all the Saiyans, they're monsters and they're coming, and Goku, you're one of them. We're like, Goku's an alien? Like
explains the tale.
It explains the tale. It all worked, and it's funny because it all works out because Dragon Ball is famously inspired by, I think it's the Journey to the West.
Yeah, like the whole Monkey King story.
Yeah. That's where it's inspired by. But it just turns it starts as this kind of like fun mystic adventure, and then it turns into this action sci-fi anime series. I mean, it's all anime, but it's just like it was just such a clean like transition. And we were talking about Frieza, dog. The build up to Frieza, and like you said, it's his character design. He gets you invested. When we first see Frieza just hanging out in his little like floating chair, we know this guy's a problem. We're like, yo, he hasn't done anything.
Nothing.
And we just like, he is going to be
for the entire saga. The one time we see him do anything, he lifts up a finger and blows up an entire planet. And we're like, yeah, he's a problem. He's going to be a problem. And you kind of know, because half the arc or half the saga of the Namek Frieza saga, Vegeta is clearly like the biggest, baddest person like we're seeing on Namek. And he's still like, I'm not strong enough. The whole time he's like, I gotta get stronger. Maybe I'm this much closer to face this guy.
I know, bull. But that's a great point. Like the Vegeta Goku fight was so intense. So like, oh my goodness, like this is going on, and like, are they even gonna win? And then to see Vegeta go back and like, oh, he's got bosses. He's not even the strongest dude on the Frieza Force. And you're right, but the Namek Saga is Vegeta just like, I hope I get it. God, I hope I get it.
I hope this is enough. Because he's a problem.
Bro,
and it still wasn't enough.
You knew it was tough when Vegeta was like, fine, we're working together. But then when they're fighting the Ginyu Force, I forgot what happened. But someone on the Ginyu Force did something, and Vegeta looked at Krillin and told him to destroy the Dragon Ball. He was like, F it. He's like, it's over. Break it. He's like, destroy it.
He's like, no. He's like, you don't understand. Code 10. It's over, bro.
He threw in the towel. He's like, hey, this is the best we can do, is not let Frieza get the Dragon Ball.
Don't let him get it. Oh my God. Man, this is a great show, man.
It is, man. And then, with Frieza, and I told you, man, I think Frieza is one of the most iconic villains ever created. And I think his character design, especially his final form Frieza, I think that is the best. And I say creature, monster. I think creature/monster, final form Frieza is the greatest design in anime history.
And before anyone has a retort for what you said, Mark, I want us to pause for a second, because you're thinking about whoever name or thing you're thinking about, they were probably inspired by Dragon Ball Z. So you're thinking about some stuff that happened later after Akira Toriyama made Frieza and after we had seen Frieza. Like, I'm sure you're thinking of some names of some folks there. Think about this. The era, this time period when all this was being made. No, the answer is Frieza. The answer is Frieza. Like, I can't even, like, Mark, when you told this to me, I spent a good while trying to think of, like, who is a more iconic, especially in anime, who is a more iconic villain than Frieza? And the answer is Frieza. The answer is Frieza. Like, and thank goodness we have someone like Frieza, because the stuff we're getting after Frieza, the stuff we're getting now, like, who knows what we're gonna say 10 years from now? Who's like the greatest villain ever? Like, we are living in such a glorious time because the foundation we had was Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, and I say Frieza also because we were talking about this. Like, it's so great, man. Toriyama, like, he gave us this transition in levels. First, we had Dragon Ball, and, like, the fights that, oh, they were cool. It was nice martial arts tournament. Then you get to, like, King Piccolo, and it's like, man, this is, like, going pretty ham. And then the last fight with Piccolo, it's like, yo. And then, with the Saiyans, that fight with Vegeta and Goku was very intense. But when Frieza hits the stage, I was it changed what Dragon Ball was and will always be. Like, that. It's like, when Fast Five came out and that was the first one The Rock was in, and everyone was like, I can't wait for Vin Diesel to fight The Rock, and those characters have never interacted, but we were all waiting, like, yo, when those two characters fight, it's on. That's what it was for Goku and Frieza. Like, Goku and Frieza never talk to each other. They don't have any besides the destruction of Planet Vegeta, they don't have any backstory. But everyone's like, oh, when those two meet, it's on. And it was like I don't know how you do that.
And then they build upon that with giving a Super Saiyan.
Yes.
Like, we get the matchup that we wanted, that we knew was gonna, like, rock our worlds. And then the climax of that is Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
I won't say it's the greatest power-up of all time. It created...
I think you're right.
Okay, cool. All right. Hey, you know what I'm saying? The most important power-up of all time.
At least the most influential. I don't know if power-ups were a thing before DBZ. I'm sure they were. But they are a thing now. It's like, what's your character's Super Saiyan?
Like, you ain't got a power-up? I can watch this show. You ain't got no power-up? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. There's some other properties I can watch.
And when you think about it, it's such a simple, it's like, oh, they just turned blonde. And I love the story behind that where, right?
Straight Aryan.
But I love the story behind it because originally it was going to be Goku's hair is just going to be more kind of pronounced like it is in Super Saiyan, but black. And his editor was like, yo, you can save money on ink if you don't ink in his hair. And so I believe when the original manga came out, there wasn't a color. They just left it uninked. And so then when the anime came or whatever, they made it blonde. But, like, dog, I've seen Super Saiyan parodied in so many cartoons, movies.
Sonic 2.
Sonic
the Hedgehog went Super Saiyan.
There's no shame.
Nobody blinked an eye.
They don't even. They're like, yeah, whatever. Like,
they're like, no, it's like Cosmic Sonic. It's not blonde. It's like chrome, and, like, he has multiple colors. No, I played that game. Okay, he went Super Saiyan.
He's the whack Arnold.
I own Sonic. All right, the brother went Super Saiyan. I know what Super Saiyan is.
Doesn't even care, like, man. But no, I think you're right, man. I think Super Saiyan might be the greatest power up, like we said, at least the most influential power up in anime manga history.
Just saying. Mark, I don't have much else to say. So, but one thing I'll say is this: when I found out the news, I started to think back about, like, Dragon Ball as a property. Dragon Ball has been in my life since I was 6. That's how old my oldest son is right now.
Mm.
And so I looked at Ian and I was like, I looked at myself and I'm like, man, my entire life I've had Dragon Ball.
Mm.
And as I got older, Dragon Ball got older, and it matched every stage of where I was. I met one of my long-term best friends through Dragon Ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now that I have kids, I can have like fun, like movie watching opportunities anytime a new Dragon Ball Super movie comes out. Like, bruh, it has been in my life damn near my entire life. And it has played a pivotal role in my entire life. And so I gotta, like, one thing I gotta say is thank you, Toriyama.
Mhm.
Like, I don't even know if you realized what you did and how much you had to sacrifice to do it. But I'm just one person. There are millions, hundreds of millions of people who love what you did and whose lives have been defined with what you did.
Yep.
I'm probably a nerd because of Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm probably a nerd because of Dragon Ball Z. So like,
Dog, I don't know how I made it out of my like whole existence without getting a DBZ tattoo. Like I did it, but like I don't know how I like got here to this day in front of you and on this podcast without having some type of DBZ tattoo. Like I like that's how much I love this series, man. And like you're right. I want to thank Toriyama too, man. When I heard about and it's crazy his influence, right? So when I heard that, and then the next morning, my wife wakes up, and we're getting everyone. I was like, "Oh, hey, Akira Toriyama passed away," and she was like, she wasn't familiar with the name. She was like, "Who?" And I was like, "Oh, the creator of Dragon Ball." Dog. She stopped. She goes, "Oh my goodness." She goes, "Are you okay?" Like she asked me if I was okay because like she understands the impact. She's like, "Oh, like that's your jam, right?"
she
Yeah, I was
gets
like,
it.
"Yeah," like that. And she's like, "Are you all right?" I was like, "No, yeah, I'm doing okay. Like I'm bummed out." But I was like, "Wow, like my wife, who like she knows anime, she knows DBZ, but like she knows how powerful of an impact that would be to me as a fan. Just that's influence. When you just know that something's important to another group of people and you haven't even seen it, that is influence.
Yep. Yep. Facts.
It,
Facts.
it's
There's
amazing.
probably one other property. I mean, outside of, comic books, like DC Marvel, that's a given. But the other property is probably Pokemon.
Yeah,
And I still think DBZ is more influential. But like
definitely.
Pokemon's probably the only other thing that's had like a big impact in my life outside of,
Hmm.
superheroes. So
There, there's one thing I want to say, Nils. So, with One Piece, you got me even reading One Piece. So I've been reading One Piece and I love it and having a good
I got
time.
you, you
You got
bastard.
me into
I
reading One
got
Piece.
you to
Yeah.
start reading One Piece. We wouldn't be in this if it wasn't for you. All
I
right.
yeah.
This is your
but
fault.
but look. So you got me into reading One Piece, and I'm having a blast. I'm loving it. But I've said I was like, man, I love Oda, but that guy will not like. He uses every inch of the frame. He's like, get it in there. He's stuffing everything. Like he's just like jamming
Every
it in.
margin.
Every another pen quickly. And he's like, and I'm just like, and it's sometimes it's hard on the eyes. I'm like, what is going on? I love One Piece, but
That
it's
poor
like
piece of paper. He's
that
like,
poor
no,
paper dog.
every single centimeter. I
And
can write another line right here.
and I told you, so I went back to read like DBZ, manga and stuff, and I was like, oh my goodness, dog, night and day. Like Mr. Toriyama is like nice, clean, clear action. This character is over here. This character is here. This character punched this character. Now they're over here. I'm like, it was like wearing glasses for the first time. I was like, wow.
There's one page that just has the character standing like just standing, and it's an entire page.
Because
It's like, look at my fit. Damn, an entire page. I'm like, he's just doing loose,
Oda's
comfortable
like, let me get
writing.
some trees in there. Let me get a ship.
He's just comfortable.
The paper starts smoking. He's like, get it in there. I was like, yo, I
Facts.
appreciate it. Toriyama was a big fan of like space and letting pages breathe, and I really appreciate that, dog. Still love you, Oda. Like I love One Piece, but man, it is a strain on the eyes.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Well, brother, anything else you want to share? This is like our fourth, fifth episode in the history of Pop Call Parent talking about Dragon Ball Z. And guess what? It's not gonna be the last.
Nope.
It's not gonna be the last.
We got a Patreon now. Maybe we start reviewing these movies, like, you know.
I would love that. I'd love to revisit Broly. That was like our fourth episode. I would comfortably revisit Broly. and
Nice.
shoot, Dead Zone, World's Strongest, Tree of Might, Super Android 13, Cooler. We're not doing Cooler's Revenge though. That was not good.
Wait, the return. Oh, the when he's a robot.
Yeah, that's
Why? You want
yeah,
to?
it was not good. It was not.
You don't like that one?
It was not good.
More power.
That was not good. But all those other ones.
Hey, I will.
Right.
To anyone, the team 4-star dub of Return of Cooler is fantastic.
I have not seen that. I might need to watch that
because there's a when Goku and Vegeta fight Cooler, they keep joking that Cooler keeps punching Vegeta in the dick, and he's like, "Why does he keep kicking me in the dick?" He's just had enough. He's so tired. He's like, "Why does he keep doing it?"
I think I have seen that one. Like he keeps punching me in the dick. I have seen that one. Oh, but I'm gonna watch it again. Oh man, yes. Oh,
No,
good
man.
times.
Rest in power, Sensei Toriyama. Like, what else can we say, man? This, like, we can only wish and hope to be this influential and bring this much joy. This is what it means to be a human being. To bring joy to others and like just bring happiness. That's what it means to be a person. And like, man, you can only I find that blessed. That is so blessing to just have a gift to bring. Like Shannon said, he said it earlier. He's like this work of love that like just like and keep spreading it. It just like so many people, like you said, who would not be friends, are friends, or colleagues because of DBZ, because of Dragon Ball. Like that's amazing.
Yeah, man. Toriyama-Sensei, thank you. One other thing I'll just slide in real quick. He might have told the best Superman story ever. I'll just leave it there. I'll leave it there. Mark, thank you. We good?
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, thank you, Pop Cult. You can find us on social media at Pop Cult Parent, POPCULTPARENT. Visit us at www.popcultparent.com. Email us at popcultparent@gmail.com. Don't forget that we have a Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com/popcultparent. And you can also rate us, review, and subscribe. And as always, join the cult. Peace.
Peace.